एक और हफ्ता जहाँ पे निफ्टी में कोई मूवमेंट नहीं हुआ, बट आई थिंक अंडर बीनीथ द निफ्टी 50 द सेक्टरल इंडिसेस में मूवमेंट शुरू हो चुका है। अगर आप देखोगे पीएसयू बैंक्स, वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट, एएमसी, तो उनमें हलचल शुरू हो गया है। की थीम्स व्हाट वी सॉ फ्रॉम लास्ट वीक वाज दैट वन, maybe the worst is over for ITs. We see decent numbers from HCL, Infosys, and TCS. Second theme, our PSUs banks is the way forward than private banks. Third theme, the continuous financialization of savings going to the AMCs. And last but not the least, मेरा एक favorite fund है, उसका नाम है नालंदा fund. They're typically the true students of Warren Buffett. They really buy less and sell rarer. So उन्होंने फाइनली एक इन्वेस्टमेंट किया इंडिया में लगभग 2 साल बाद. तो we want to look into the company where they invested in, and it's very interesting. So let's start this week's video. Thank you. Everyone, welcome back to the channel, especially in a new series called the Weekly Movement. So in this video, we'll look into the last 1 week on how the stock market moved. And for this week, we're going for the 11th January to 16th January. Thanks for all the love. And I hope you like the video, and please do like, share and subscribe with everyone. So the first thing we'll discuss right now is about the IT sector. All the three IT companies, Infosys, TCS and HCL, have come out with the revenues. And revenue की बात करें तो वो Infosys का 8%, TCS का 5% and overall HCL का 13% revenue growth हुआ है. And ये revenue growth हुआ है also because of the fact that कि currency जो हमें depreciate किया है. But profit growth year on year बहुत कम है because एक one time loss हुआ था because of new labor code, but that is for this quarter only. So going forward ये इतना loss नहीं होगा कभी भी. What two things to think about the IT sector is that पहला बात जो होगा कि given if you had invested in IT earlier, जब September October में fear mongering चल रहा था, this can be a good return for you in the defensive sector, right? Because nothing in the economy is really moving up. So if you're invested, I think you should be making some good money now, both in HCL and TCS and Infosys. Other than that, I think going forward, HCL has said that उन्होंने $3 billion का win हुआ है. So I would say that overall in terms of revenue, I think the IT sector has bottomed out, and going forward we can expect better numbers going forward. And उनको जो AI का जो component है, जो how much of the revenue is coming from AI deals, that is the key metric that we should track here. So then I think all the doom and gloom story was told about that after Gen AI, the IT sector is doomed. Then I think that story flips, because now Gen AI will help the big IT companies to grow. So I think that is what we should track in the next quarter, that how much of the revenue is coming from the Gen AI and AI initiatives. The second thing we'll talk about is the PSU bank sector. So we see that around a movement of 4.6% movement in the PSU banks overall, Nifty PSU bank, right? And that has also ensured that Nifty bank goes up by 1.5%. So क्या हुआ है कि as I said at the beginning of the video, the overall the GNPA for both central bank and Union Bank has come down a lot, out of which, if I'm not wrong, I think Central Bank of India ka profit has grown by 31%. So what we see is that all the PSU banks trade at a very low valuation, right? And the private banks typically trade around book value of 2.5 to 3. So because the growth in the banking sector is nowhere to be seen, and given that PSU banks' performance has been good, equally good as private banks, so market is currently favoring the PSU banks for right now. So if PSU banks are able to hold GNP at 3, or if they can make it lesser than that, I think going forward, I think more money will come for the PSU banks, and I think private banks should really think about why should they get some extra valuation. Third thing we talk about today is the financialization of Indian savings, right? So in इस sector को revenue growth is primarily with two engines. First engine is that how much people are investing in the AMCs, and second engine is that, let's say, how much is the market moving. Because let's say if you have an asset invested today at 100 rupees, the AUM or asset under management is also 100 rupees, but कल अगर market एक साल बाद 120% ऊपर गया है, so then also let's say if they're making 1% of 100 rupees, now they will make 1% of 120 rupees. So उनका तो 20% गेन हुआ है बिकॉज ऑफ द मार्केट मूवमेंट, राइट? सो इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द रिजल्ट्स नाउ, आई थिंक वन कंपनी जिसका मैं रिजल्ट बहुत दिन से वेट कर रहा था एंड आई वाज रियली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू द ICICI AMC। तो कंपनी ने फिलहाल दिसंबर में IPO लॉन्च किया है एंड आई थिंक बिफोर आई गो टू रिजल्ट, आई थिंक द रिजल्ट केम आउट Wednesday night, Thursday was a holiday and Friday the stock shot up by 10%. So typically the market loved the result and I also love the result. Overall, if I compare HDFC and ICICI AMC, both are large AMCs. तो ICICI AMC का overall revenue growth बहुत ज़्यादा था, I think 35-40%. HDFC के AMC के तो लगभग 20% लगभग, again अप्रॉक्स में बोल रहा हूँ, मुझे जितने माइंड में याद है उतना बोल रहा हूँ। एंड ओवरऑल आई थिंक ICICI AMC में जस्ट एक चीज़ है, मेट्रिक है, वेयर HDFC AMC इज बेटर इज दैट द कॉस्ट टू इनकम रेशियो, मीनिंग HDFC AMC इज अ वेरी मच मोर कॉस्ट efficient. But I think India is a growing market, right? So even if my AMCs are incurring more cost but able to give me more growth, I won't really typically care much about margin. Again, to an extent, I will sort of look the other way if the revenues are growing. We see similarly good results for both 361 WAM and Anand Rathi. Anand Rathi has been able to grow the revenue by 22-23% and profit by 30%, and very consistent performance, right? And 361 WAM also has been able to like grown the revenue by 35-40% and profit by 20-25%, right? And so again, numbers have to like approx मान लो, but समझो कि मतलब ओवरऑल मतलब 361 WAM has much better results and also available at a better valuation also than Anand Rathi. So I think going forward also, I'm just thinking right now that all this revenue growth in all the four stocks has come from the just collecting assets, right? When the typically market will move and now people will invest more assets, then the revenue growth will be much more than that. So जब आपका एक इंजन बंद है तभी इतना का ग्रोथ हो सकता है, तो जब अगर दो इंजन में चलेगा तो डबल इंजन से तो मतलब स्टॉक तो उड़ेगा, है ना? So overall I think again you should do your own research, but I am very much bullish on the sector. I think going forward, I think this sector should do well. It's a very simple business to understand, clean business to understand. Regulatory risks are there कि सभी आके एक्सचेंज इशू कम कर सकते हैं for sure, but overall I think the headroom to grow is so much, right? So yeah, so phenomenal growth rate ahead, right? So I think this is a very simple business to understand. I think, right, a lot of businesses are there which will grow a lot but may not be easy to understand, but this is a very clean accounting, very simple to understand. I think overall very bullish, and yeah, I think I'm also looking forward soon to be a listing of SBI mutual fund. Then I think a group of companies, आपका HDFC, ICICI, SBI स्टडी कर सकते हैं एक साथ. एंड आई थिंक फॉर द नेक्स्ट वीक आई थिंक विल हैव रिजल्ट्स फ्रॉम कैनाडा, रोबोको, ICICI, Aditya Birla Sun Life. The last part of the video is something special what happened on Wednesday. We found that Nalanda Fund, which is one of the very famous funds which invests in Indian companies, it's a foreign located fund. They have invested picked up around 1.5% stake or around 235 crores in a company called India Mart. So why Nalanda Capital is special? Because Nalanda Capital, I think they have purchased something in the Indian market after 2 years, and also their performance has been very good over let's say the last 20 years. And few other characteristics is that typically what they do is that they buy very rare and sell very rarely. So and in their journey of 20 years they typically have bought around 30 to 35 stocks. So that's a huge sort of, they buy very rarely. So for that reason I think the stock went up by 10%. I have also started looking into it. Looks interesting, and typically the few characteristics of the Nalanda stocks are basically that they are mostly monopolistic, which is true for India Mart. Like India Mart is the biggest player, and it's also a market जहाँ पे basically वो लोग क्या करते हैं कि they're basically B2B Amazon, मैं बोल सकता हूँ तो कि basically the buyers and sellers होते हैं उनको basically bulk में help करते हैं to meet. So that is on the India Mart business, and I think overall I am reading on it. I hopefully want to make a video on that, but the stock looks very interesting again and at a very good valuation. This is for this week. Today आज मैंने बहुत दिन बाद outdoor में shooting किया है. Let me know how does it look like, and as always please let me know how was this video compared to last week, and going forward what kind of weekly wrap up does it do. And overall idea is that in let's say 10 to 12 minutes how much it is really helping you to stay updated with the market. That is the focus of this video, right? So make a 12-minute video on a Saturday or a Sunday, so that you, who is a very typically busy person, can get updated on what happened in the overall market. So please let me know whether that help fulfillment is being done with this video or not.